Hi everyone, we're going to do some review today. We're going to review fractions, percents, and decimals, as well as tax, tip, and discount. What I suggest you do actually before watching this video and doing the work alongside me, my suggestion to you to make sure you completely understand it is to actually try it on your own if you feel comfortable enough. I would absolutely do that. If not, always feel free to follow along with the video. Otherwise, reach out to me. We could go through this together over a video conference call, however you feel like you're going to learn and review this best. All right, we're going to start with converting some percents to fractions to decimals and back. All right, so percent to a fraction. The word cent means per 100. Cent means 100 per 100. So all we need to do here is take this number in the percent, 0.25, and put it over 100. To convert that percent to a decimal, what we're going to want to do is take that decimal, we move it to the left twice, we fill in any blank bumps with zeros. So 0.25% is 0.0025 as a decimal. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a fraction and we're going to turn it to, we can turn it to a percent first. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get 100 in that denominator because remember, percent means per 100. What do we multiply 5 by to get 100? 20. And whatever we multiply on bottom, we also multiply on top. So since we now have 100 in that denominator, 1/5 is equivalent to 20 100ths. Remember, percent means per 100. So 20 per 100 is 20%. To convert this to a decimal, all we want to do is take that decimal at the end, move it to the left twice. So that is a decimal is 0.20 or just 0.2. Now there's a ton of ways you could do this. You could also turn the fraction directly to a decimal by dividing. But if we already have the percent, it's easier for us to just move that decimal. It's all up to your preference. You can get there 100 different ways as long as you get the same answer as me. All right, now we're going to deal with if we have a decimal, turning it to a fraction and a percent. Let's turn it to a fraction first. Think about how you say this number. 35 hundredths. That 5 is in the hundredths place. So what we're going to do, 35 hundredths is just 35 over 100. And we need to reduce it. A lot of you guys I'm seeing in your Delta Maths, you're forgetting to reduce. Divide the top and bottom number by the highest number that can go into both. That's 5. So 35 divided by 5 is 7. 100 divided by 5 is 20. So as a reduced fraction, 0.35 is 7/20ths. To convert 0.35 to a percent, what we want to do is we're going to want to take that decimal, move it to the right twice. So 0.35 becomes 35%. Now let's take 0.005. Same rules apply here. How do we say this number, 0.005? Well, it's 5 thousandths. So the way we're going to write that is 5 over 1,000. And let's see if we can reduce that. We can divide the top and bottom here by 5. When we do that, we end up getting 1/200ths. So that is 0.005 as a fraction. To turn it to a percent, all we're going to want to do is take that original decimal and move it to the right twice. So 0.005 is 0.5%. Now let's look at 12%. I say we turn it to a fraction first. So the way you would say that, or percent, means per 100. So that's going to just be 12 over 100. Then we're going to reduce. We're going to divide the top and bottom by 4. So that gets us 3/25ths. To turn that percent to a decimal, all we want to do is move the decimal to the left twice, and we're going to get 0.12. Last but not least, we have 1 1/4, and the reason this is different is because we have a mixed number here, which we haven't seen before. So what we're going to want to do here is just take that fraction, turn it to a decimal. The way we turn 1/4 to a decimal is by division. So over on the side, we're going to turn 1/4 to a decimal. So we have 1 in the house, 4 outside. 4 goes into 1 0 times, add a decimal, add a 0. 4 goes into 10 twice. 2 times 4 is 8, subtract and you get 2, bring down a 0. 4 goes into 25 times 5 times 4 is 20, subtract and you get 0. So we have 0.25. However, we have a 1 in the front, so it's going to become 1.25. To turn this to a percent, you're going to move this decimal over twice to the right. So this becomes 125%. All right, let's move on to tip. A customer wants to tip 25% on a restaurant bill that is $55. What will the total bill be with tip? So what we want to do is set up a proportion that we are going to use every single time. So I'm going to write down the proportion. We can use it for the rest of this worksheet. That proportion is part over whole equals percent over 100. The amount your bill cost is your whole. The part is going to be that tip, and then we're going to add that to the whole. So we're looking for the tip. X over the whole is 55 equals percent 25 over 100. Cross multiply. 55 times 25 is 1,375 equals 100x. Divided by 100, divided by 100, we get x equals $13.75. But now this amount is just the tip. So what we need to do is do 55 plus 13.75. And that gets us 68.75. And that's our final answer. Let's move on to a discount. So we have a boogie board that has a regular price of $75 is on sale for a 30% discount. What is the sale price? So the first thing we need to do here is use that part over whole proportion again. Our part is unknown. We're looking for it. Our whole is 75 equals 30% over 100. Cross multiply. We get 100x equals 2,250. Divide both sides by 100, and we get x equals $22.50. Now this is the amount we take off. So we have a final step, and what we have to do here is subtract $75 minus $22.50. So when we subtract, we get $52.50 we are spending on that boogie board. All right. A family of 4 goes to Outback for dinner. Their meal costs $110. They want to give a 20% tip. What will the total cost? So now we're talking about tip. This is going to be an added amount. We're going to set up that same proportion. Then we're going to add that amount to the cost of their meal. So that part is what we're looking for. It's X. The total cost of the meal is the whole. We're spending $110. The percent, we're looking for 20% of that over 100. Cross multiply. We have 100x equals 220. Divide both sides by 2,200. Divide both sides by 100. We get x equals $22. That's not the total amount they spend on their meal. So what we need to do is add that $110 plus 22 to get the total cost of their meal, which is $132. This next problem is a two-stepper because we're comparing two things. We're comparing the cost of a tennis racket from one place and the cost of the tennis racket from another. So let's read this. We have a tennis racket from Sports City costs $150 and is discounted 12%. So remember, discount means subtract. The same model racket costs $190 at Tennis World and is on sale for 20% off. Which store offers a better deal? And we have to explain. So what we're going to do is we're going to separate this into Sports City versus Tennis World. Let's solve for Sports City first. We'll solve for that on the left. Our part in this case we're looking for, our total is $150 equals, this is a 12% discount over 100. So we're going to cross multiply. We get 100x equals 1,800. When we divide both sides by 100, we get x equals $18. This is the amount we are going to subtract. So we have that original $150 minus the $18. That's going to cost us $132. Let's compare that to the cost at Tennis World. So at Tennis World, the original cost is $190, but you're taking messed something up there. There we go. But you're taking off a bigger percent, so we're going to see which one's going to cost us less. So it's going to be part over whole. We're looking for the discount over the total cost of $190 equals 20% over 100. Cross multiply. We get 100x equals $3,800. Divide both sides by 100, and we get x equals $38. But remember, that's not how much we're spending. We have to subtract. So we're going to take that original 190, subtract 38, and that's going to tell us our cost is $152. So the better deal here, we'll write a little explanation here. The better deal is going to be the one that costs us less, and that is Sports City. So we could say Sports City is the better deal. Because, I'll use B/D, it costs less. We could actually say, if we want, it costs $20 less per racket. All right. And last but not least, Peyton has a 40% off any item coupon. He decides to purchase $27 sweater. How much does he spend using the coupon? So again, we're using that same proportion. We use pink. We'll use a nice blue again. So our part we don't know, we're going to label it X. Over our whole, the total cost is $27. 40% is our discount. Cross multiply. So we get 100x equals 1,080. Divide both sides by 100, and we get x equals $10.80. This is a discount, so what we need to do is take that original cost of $27, subtract $10.80 to see how much it's going to cost us. So when we subtract, we get $16.20. All right, and that is all for the review. If you need further help, send me an email. I am happy to help. Enjoy your day.